In one way, a servlet is exactly the same as a Java server page, and in another way, it's the opposite. Like a Java server page, a servlet is a Java class that executes to generate the HTML code of the page, and that page is returned to the web browser. But it is compiled ahead of time and stored as a compiled class on the server. Where a Java server page is HTML code with Java code embedded inside it, a servlet is Java code with HTML code embedded inside it. You create a servlet by writing a class that extends the HTTP servlet class and then overrides the default methods that handle requests coming from the browser. There are different kinds of requests, and the different kinds of requests will cause different methods to be called. A GET request coming from the browser is a request that expects a return of the named resource. The request is in the form of a URI. The most common form of the URI is a request for a specific local resource, and that is called a URL. The response can be a static web page or a dynamic page produced as the output from a JSP or from a servlet. This is by far the most common form of request and comes from the user clicking on a link with the mouse. Other information can be included with the GET request. Things following the ampersand on the URL are considered arguments instead of part of the addressing. This format of argument on a URL is known as URL encoding. A request can come in the form of a POST message. This comes with a URI, the same as a GET message, but it usually includes more information, like that input into a form. A GET message could be used to carry this information, but a PUT message is normally used to carry large blocks of information like this. A POST message has a content type specifier that defines the format of the data, and a content length specifier that specifies the number of bytes in the data. A PUT request is similar in format to a POST request, but the PUT request does not require a response. The program receives the data from the command and stores it without issuing a response. This command has the format of a GET command, but doesn't return the whole thing. It just returns the header information for what would be returned if this were a GET command. With a delete command, the resource identified by a URI is simply deleted. The trace command is an echo. It simply returns the command to the requester. The options messages are used for conversations between the client and the server. The client can use this kind of message to ask for information on the server's capabilities. In a servlet, different methods are called for different types of incoming messages. These methods are passed in a request object that holds the incoming information, and a response object that can be used to send a response back to the sender. The whole thing runs in a manner very similar to the JSPs we looked at earlier. The main operational difference is that the programs are already compiled into class files, so there's no need to include the compilation step. The client sends a message to the server. The request is sent on to the servlet container. The container is the program that loads the servlet class file, converts them into objects, and passes a request to them. The servlet reads the incoming message and generates a response page as its output. The container passes the message back to the web server, and the server returns a response to the browser. If there are no more requests for this particular servlet, the container just drops it and waits for a new message.